What's up, guys? My name is Raphael. I am 8 months post-op of my ACL surgery. I have been a NASM certified personal trainer, or was one, for about 6 years. I've played various sports: baseball, basketball, soccer, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I even played tennis for a day. I've done Spartan races. I like hiking. I'm just like a super physically active dude, and tearing my ACL was probably something that was like very devastating. So I was watching this guy named Ivan Durakovic, something like that. I don't know his full name, but he kind of inspired me to do these kind of videos just because it's very simple. I love exercising. I love talking about fitness and just like my ideologies. And I noticed that when I recorded this video, it actually helped me with my form, and just there's a huge benefit to recording your workouts and whatnot. Just a disclaimer, I'm not responsible if you guys hurt yourselves in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not an orthopedic, and I don't know your health history and your fitness background. So this is a video of my leg right now, my left leg, and also I'm not giving any medical advice. This is a video of my left leg right now, significantly smaller than my right. That's my skull where they took out my patella tendon, but my legs are getting pretty close in size. Just taking some time. I did do a bulk so that it would be easier to put some muscle on, and I think strength-wise I'm doing really well. I like the back of my legs are much similar compared to the front. Like, I feel like my quad has to catch up a lot, but yeah. So first set I did of box squats. I do no weight. So this is after my warm-up, but I like to do a warm-up set just to get my hips and my quads going. I'm dealing with a hip problem right now. I didn't want to say it's an injury, just an issue. I'm not sure if it's like irritation of a specific muscle. When I do jiu-jitsu, I usually play on a certain hip. I play on my left hip, so usually I use my right hip a lot. So trying to play on my right hip more now that my ACL leg is much stronger. It's been easier to do so. Normally I don't work out with headphones or a sweatshirt on. The headphones because I didn't want to have any copyright issues when I'm playing my music, so I usually have the speaker on. And then the sweatshirt because it's freezing and I live in New York and it's probably, I don't know, 10 degrees outside today. It's ridiculous, but hey, that's the cost of living in New York. It's a great state, even if you're into politics. I'm not. It's a great state to live in. There's so much that it has, but sometimes it can be a pain in the ass due to the weather. So I usually do like 3 sets of squats. Usually start off with 35, but I did 3 sets of 45 today. I knew I was going to squat relatively heavy, and yeah, just did these 3 sets of 45. So first set I don't count, no weight. Second, third, fourth I count, and then just kind of really gets my quads going, especially box squats. I always do them just like to hit parallel, and then once I put a barbell on my back, that's when I start going way obviously below parallel. But this is for me. I know this is a good way, and especially when I was out training clients, it was a good way for me to get their range of motion a little better. I would take off 1 pad, then 2 pads, then 3 pads to get lower and lower until 1, they had no pain, because that was my main concern. I never wanted to hurt my client, and then 2, their range of motion was healthy, where I was able to like add a weight into a lower range of motion. It was awesome to see my clients definitely get stronger and stronger. A lot of the time I'd always have them use a box, but they probably could have did it without the box. Also in the video before, I forgot to kind of line up the focus on my camera. And here it is. So like I said, I was dealing with a hip issue, and I decided today to add hip thrusts, which were a mess. They were definitely very difficult to set up today, but later in the video you'll see. Form is pretty good. I do have a little bit of butt wink, but that's something that I'm not really worried about. I have been stretching my hamstrings pretty much every night before bed. I always stretch everything out now. I don't really like stretching after workout, especially now that I'll go to jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to be too loose for jiu-jitsu. Like, I do want to contract and whatnot, but I don't usually use like a ton of energy in jiu-jitsu, like strength-wise, so maybe it would be okay if I did stretch, but I just don't stretch after my workouts. I do a warm-up with mobility, so I'm pretty loose at the end of my workout, hitting all sides. So that was my first squat at 115. I did for 10 reps. I didn't add a 45 pound. I just added 10s on each side. I like to squat 115 like as a warm-up like set, almost like having another warm-up. It's light. It's closer to 100 pounds, and I feel like 135 like could be a little heavy for a warm-up set. Obviously, it depends on the person. I'm a smaller person, so I think it was just like appropriate for me. Um, and yeah, so you're gonna see me making a lot of adjustments while I'm squatting, just because of like maybe I'm dealing with some kind of knee pain from like the ACL, mainly my left leg. But I do adjust a lot, and then I find my sweet spot. I could have went a little deeper during that rep, but once I find my sweet spot, which it looks like I found in this one, um, then I just kind of hammer out those reps. I went really deep on that one. Yeah, and then my main thing I was doing a lot of single leg exercises. Like I would do even 245s for like a Bulgarian split squat, and that would be okay like on my knee and whatnot. But honestly, it was just kind of like an annoying movement. Like I've done tons of split squats, but I don't like to do a set of 10 and then have to do another set of 10 on my other leg. I just think it's kind of annoying, honestly. So, and what I noticed is like when I was able to do like single leg squats without using like an assistance like a TRX or gymnastic string strap was when I was at my strongest. And it was really hard for me to kind of build up into doing a single leg squat right now with my left leg. So my main focus, like, hey, listen, like, it feels like it's almost impossible. I'm not really making like crazy progress with it, or just kind of like annoying or painful. So like, why don't right now I just focus on building as much strength from compound movements, and then in a couple weeks, months, then I start retesting if I could do a single leg squat on a box without using assistant, and was this going to be a greater benefit? So, and I think it is. I think long term it's going to be, and I still might have to practice them, but I feel like I'm going to have a better foundation of strength. Like if I was able to squat 1,000 pounds, like it's going to be at my weight, it's going to be way easier for me to do a single leg squat. It'll take me a little bit to get the form down, but once I could do it, I already had the strength. So it's about getting like those, I guess the stability or the balance of everything. That was, I believe, 155, and I believe this is 185. It depends on my breathing. I always check the weights on the side. I always count. So I think it's a 35, 25, and a 10. I checked twice, yeah. So this is probably the. Those are either 5s or 10s. So it might be 5. So this might be 175. So I did 185 and 175. First rep always sucks. Like I feel like I don't want to say painful, like where feels like my knee's gonna rip in half, but I feel tension in the spot where my patella tendon sits at. Could have went a little deeper the first rep, but like I was adjusting, and then I think I went deeper after that. Yep. So I went a little deeper. I found my nope, still didn't find it. So I keep adjusting my my feet just to find the perfect spot to squat, and that one seemed a little bit. I think I got 2 more reps. No, this is 175. But I do have. I'm looking at the video to edit right now. I can see I have 1 more squat rep left. So I did 175 last week, like maybe last Monday, and then I tried squatting Wednesday, and my legs were still shot from Monday. So then I took Wednesday off from heavy squatting. I just did kind of like bike and just like kettlebell swings and whatnot. But then Friday, I think Friday. Friday I took off. Saturday I never work out. I did a full body that day. I was just feeling really down last week. I lost some weight. I don't think I was like really sick. I think I was burnt out. This is a brand new gym, so we spent like 2 days setting it up, painting. It's snowing a lot in New York, so I was just kind of using my energy like in a lot of different places, and I don't think I had any energy for lifting. And I'm feeling good this week. I'm not feeling bad. My weight's definitely gone back up. And then just kind of really focusing on getting not that my diet was bad, but just eating clean, so I do have energy when it comes to these workouts. Mind you, like I work out 5 days a week, and I do jiu-jitsu every day for like at least like 2 hours minimum. So definitely a lot of I'm not lazy in any means of the word, but I do have to be very specific on how I do spend my time. Doing deadlifts, this is one of the things I like that I started recording. My form was okay. My back could have been a little straighter. I don't think it was damaging my back at all. But my goal is to now, like, for my next set, I took off my shirt so I can make sure my back is pretty straight. Just got to get the shoulders a little bit more back. Obviously, I wasn't deadlifting like my back was curved like that. So this is the second set of deadlifts right now. I do improve my form. I just have those those pins like really like far out. Normally I wouldn't deadlift from like a pin. Like I would never consider that a rep when I just going down. Now I consider this rep number 2. But it's just easier to put the plates on the side. I don't have to bend over. I don't have to waste my energy doing that. But the thing is that sucks is that I have to put it down. So I mean, I think when I get into heavier weights, like 225, I don't think I'd bring it back up and like walk there. But it's relatively lightweight for me. Just really trying to focus on like form and whatnot. So I only did 3 sets today. Normally I would do like 4. But because I lifted and I knew I was going to do hip thrust after this, I took away a set. And then this is 185. So, like I have a very like, I think a unique approach to like lifting. I do want to get stronger, but I do use a lot of bodybuilding parameters. But for my size, I'm strong, so I don't really mind like lifting like I guess like a lighter weight compared to like people who do lift super heavy, like 400, 300, 500 pounds. Can I have put more in the bar today with that? Yeah, I probably could have put up like 225. I probably could have maybe did it for 10. Maybe I could have only gotten 5. I haven't done it in a while, but for me, like when I get into lifting, I don't see, like, especially when I'm getting back into lifting out of like a layoff, like I did a layoff before, I'm not going to go from like, all right, I'm doing jiu-jitsu, so I'm still fit, to going back to deadlifting 225 the next day. Like, I'm going to be super sore the next day. My body's going to be shot. I'm just going to have a ruined week. I'd rather work up slowly, like go from like 135, and then next week 145. Even though I already knew I could do 185, I just don't like being sore. And then I feel that if I went from 135 to 185, I'm going to have a lot more muscle. I'll be much well protected when I do get to those heavier lifts. So this is the hip thrust I talked about that I probably messed up completely. So I just did, I think that was 115. I did a set of 95. I had 225s just to get the first rep in, and I messed it up completely. Here I'm still messing it up again just because of the mats. But eventually I fixed it at the end. I just have to go a little deeper with my my hip flexion, so getting my like ass closer to the ground. So I moved it back a little bit, which is good because the first rep I was doing, I was stepping on the black concrete before, as you can see, like right in front of the squat rack. So I pushed it back, so that was fine. Then now I use a heavier weight. Because I'm using a heavier weight, the mats are moving. You can even see them move the first time. So when I'm like leaning on it, they lift up. So that was giving me a problem. So I don't know why I didn't do it on the set after this, or maybe even should I even stop recording and just put a 45 on. But it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Still getting a decent like contraction. So then the set after this, or maybe 2 sets after this, is when I finally put a 45 on the mats so the mats wouldn't move. It was like really hard to get out, but because I was using the smaller weight, it was hard to get out because it was like even lower, like the bar would just be on my hip awkwardly. But now that I'm using a heavier weight, it should be good. So I think next time when I set this up, I'll probably try to set it up from the floor instead of just like trying to deadlift it and putting it on my hip. But I'll probably watch a video of somebody doing it, just to get better at it. But decent. I definitely felt my glutes and my legs are cramping up a little bit, so I know like I had a pretty good leg workout. So that was excellent. Like I said, I'm feeling with this hip issue I've dealt with for probably like a year and a half. I could have seen a doctor about it, but I feel like I could just figure it out on my own. If it does give me problems in the next 2 months, I'm just gonna see a doctor about it. But I feel like my glutes are weak, or I have some issue with my hip flexor. But I know it's definitely like an overuse thing. Like I probably wouldn't have it if I hadn't played so much jiu-jitsu on my one side. It's definitely a little sore right now, but I'll figure it out in due time. And then I was doing these hip flexing exercises just in case I have a weak hip flexor. But after the workout, my hip flexor felt fine, so definitely a positive aspect. ACL sore in certain positions. Jiu-jitsu is usually pretty fine because the weight is not heavy. Like my partners are not that heavy, and they're pretty good training partners. So just overall happy with my progress in my ACL. I really wish my leg was bigger at this time, but it's not there yet. But we'll see what happens in the future. If you guys like this video, please let me know. Please give me some feedbacks in the comments. I will be talking about other comments than just topics and just commentating on my workouts. I should be making one tomorrow. I should be doing chest. That's usually a faster workout, so I probably won't cut in any of the clips. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys during my next video. Peace.